All right, welcome back to the garage. Front garage anyway. I've got a treat for you guys today. This is my new to me 2018 Toyota Corolla. This is my new to me 2018 Chevrolet Camaro 2SS 1LE. It's got 6-piston Brembos in the front, 20-inch wheels all around. It's basically a ZL1 without the supercharged LT4. Now then, I picked this car up on Wednesday. Today's Friday. It's about to rain. I'd like to put it in the garage, but Lucille is getting jealous and is dripping transmission fluid, so I got to deal with that before I can put this into there. Now then, luckily this lift came with some drip pans that I can put underneath the drips and hopefully catch them before they fall onto the new Camaro. Here's the top of those pans, and you can see how much is leaking out of there. I got to do something about that. Let's pull these out of here, drain them into a bin, and move on. All right, pulled that first tray out of here, got it over here draining. There really wasn't much in it. Up here in the front, I know there's an oil leak from the fuel pump. You can see it right there. That seems to only be leaking whenever it's running. So I'm not worried about that right now. Eventually I'll get to that. I don't know if it's just the fuel pump or if there's also like the front main seal or just the pan gasket. I'm not sure, but I think I'll deal with that at some point. The big beast is back here at the tranny. You can see the horror that lies beneath. Okay, got that second drip tray out of here, and yeah, here's where she's leaking. It's pretty wet here from the back of the engine back to the cross member here. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm gonna pull that inspection cover off. I know that I'd looked at this once before and done a little video on it, and it seemed to be leaking from everywhere, but I'm gonna clean this off and see if we can't pinpoint exactly where that's coming from. And to take this inspection cover off, there's just 4 bolts. There's 2 in the bottom of the transmission there, and then 2 up, one along the side here and 1 along the side over here. Got those out of there. We'll drop this down and see what we're working with. Okay, I pulled that inspection cover off, and if I look up in there, just between the engine and the flex plate there, there's transmission fluid dripping there. I'm not sure what where that could be coming from. Up in behind the torque converter, it's got a little bit of splash on it, but nothing serious. The pan was covered here. I hit it with some brake clean to clean it off. I'm going to keep cleaning on this and see if I can't track down exactly where and how much this is leaking. There's a little bit of oil on the oil pan there, but I assume that's just a blowback from that fuel pump leak. Okay, I got the transmission oil pan cleaned off really well. Got this shift linkage cleaned off a bit as well. Just got a roller and flour and look for the wet spot, right? There she is all the way around there. So far so good. Let's let this set for an hour or two and see what she looks like. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes, and I can see right here, yeah, that shifter shaft seal is leaking a little bit. It seems to be running down and around that bolt right there. But you can see how that input shaft there, that area is a little wet. It was dry a minute ago. There was a drop back here on the speedo cable, so I wonder if the back of this thing leaks. I also noticed, if you look up in there, this car may have been a manual at one time. And you know, I think Lucille wants to be a manual again. So maybe we solve the leaky transmission problem by swapping in a 4-speed. What do you think? All right, I let it set all night. Let's take a look here and see where the wetness is. You can see there's a drip at the front of that transmission oil pan. There's a little bit of fluid in the trays here. Let's pull these out and see what we're looking at. Okay, here we can see that oil's running off that bolt there. I believe it's coming from the shifter shaft seal down to the pan and then working its way around and then running down there. As far as I can tell, that's what it looks like to me. I don't know if it's actually coming around the gasket there, but I don't think so. I think it's right there. We're just running around that corner. Not much I can do about this right now. I've got to run, but I'm gonna put these drip trays underneath here and hopefully catch all of it. And then I can put the Camaro in here for now. I've got to run for the weekend, but we'll see what I do with this in the future. Okay, the future is now. Back to work on this thing. I picked up a shifter shaft seal kit off Amazon. I don't know if you can read this or not, but that stuff. And this guy, it says it's for a Turbo 350. Didn't specify that it was for a Super Turbine 300, but I'm gonna pull this apart, take some measurements, and see if I think that'll fit, and see where we're at. Okay, I pulled the drip pans out of the way, and I can see, yep, there's that the old drip that we knew about, and then as I look, there's a drip there, which I assume is this just running down, but there's also a drip here, and I don't think that it's making it all the way across there. And if I get up here, I think that's coming from the dipstick tube. I think it's leaking from right there. Shoot. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up again and see what we're dealing with, and start working on it. Okay, I've got the bottom of that dipstick tube cleaned up, as well as kind of around in here. Let's let it sit and see if it drips a bit. While I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and take this off over here. Now then, I believe I can just take the nut off the end of the shifter shaft there, and then pull this off there and get to that seal. Let's do that. Okay, I got that shift linkage unbolted from there. I took some measurements as best I could, and I think the new seal will fit. So we got to remove that guy. And there's a tool for that. It's this guy little right here. What you do is you drive that into the old seal, twist it, get it biting into there real good, and it's threaded here, and there's a bolt that goes into it there, and that'll push against that shifter shaft and pull that seal out, and then there's a driver here to drive the new one in. So let's see if we can't pull that old one out. Okay, I got that tool on there by using a ratcheting wrench here. It ratchets, and a hammer, and I could beat on the end of it here while I turned it, and that allows it to bite into the metal casing of the seal, push in the rubber part and bite into the metal part. Now I've got a bolt. There's a bolt that you gotta tighten right there on the end, and let's see if we can't pull that thing off there. And yep, I got that seal out of there. Now we can start looking at the housing. Okay, here's that shifter shaft and the housing. See if I can look up in here and see if the housing's gouged up, or kind of what's going on in here. Kind of flying blind. Okay, I'm getting the inside of that shaft housing kind of cleaned up here, using a mirror so that I can see in there. I don't know if it'll focus or not, but there was a bunch of RTV in and around the seal, so I got that cleaned up. Just about ready to put the new seal in it. Debating on whether I should put some sealant in behind the seal. Let me give that some thought. Okay, I got the new seal in there. I did go ahead and put some of this red gasket maker in behind it, just to try and help seal it up there. But the new seal was thicker than the old seal, so I'm hoping that helps solve the problem. But I'm gonna let it dry for an hour or two before I bolt this all back up and see if she leaks. Okay, I let this set for a couple of days, and yeah, she's still leaking a little bit. I don't think it's coming from shifter shaft seal, because that's dry, hasn't moved at all. I just wonder if maybe it's coming around this gasket here a little bit, so I might need to redo that. And then as well, it's leaking over here, but that's coming from that O-ring on the dipstick. I'm gonna put this all back together. Yeah, you can see the dipstick right there. I'm gonna put this all back together and go for a cruise, and see if maybe it gets better or gets worse, and then I'll reevaluate. Let's put it back together. Okay, got the shift linkage reconnected there and got the inspection cover put back on there. Let's drop this thing down and see how it runs. All right, Lucille's back on the lift. Let's take a look underneath her and see what we got for leaks. I know this fuel pump right here, I don't know if it's getting worse or if it's just really ugly under here, but you can see it's leaking all over the cross member there, and the sway bar, and of course blowing back on the oil pan. Let's take a look at this transmission. Yeah, back here it's still leaking a little bit. I don't think it's leaking from the shifter shaft seal. I think that's not leaking, but it is dripping around these bolt heads. You see that guy's wet. That guy there is wet. These fronts here, they're a little damp, but they're not drippy. But you can kind of see where the fluid's coming around there. There's a drip right there. So I don't know what to do about this. Live with it, I guess. But the rest of the pan seems to be okay for the most part. Let me clean this off and let it set for a day or two and see if we can see where it's dripping. I kind of feel like maybe right here this pan just isn't sealed up real well. Dripping around those bolts. I don't know if this bracket has anything to do with that. I'm trying to fix the light here, so yeah, I'll do a little more digging on this. Okay, I got the transmission pan cleaned up. Got all the transmission fluid off of it. Here's an interesting thing. I get my mirror up in here, and I don't know if you can see that. That's the top of the bolt right there. That's the top of it. It actually comes all the way through the transmission. This one back here is the same way. And it's just pushed up the gasket sealant up through the bolt hole. And I wonder if maybe it's leaking from there. I'm gonna, since I've got these cleaned up, I'm going to keep an eye on them. I'm just gonna leave this right here for now and see if they leak tomorrow. This guy back here, there's a wire that connects back here. It seems to be okay. It doesn't seem to be leaking around that fixture at all, but just right here. So, like I said, I'll just monitor this for a day or two and see if she drips. Okay, after letting this set for about a week, as well as driving it around a little bit here and there, I haven't fixed the leaks, but I have definitely improved them. I think that shifter shaft seal was a large component of that. It's still leaking a fair amount. I think it's just around the gasket there that's causing the issues. I may have to pull this off, clean it up, and reseal it at some point. I'm not going to do that today. I believe this inspection cover is wet, and I think that's engine oil. So I think the rear main seal may be pooched on this guy. I just smell that. Yeah, it kind of smells like engine oil. Anyway, not much I can do about that without doing a lot with that. So I'll leave that. Now that it's not as drippy, I think I can be confident about parking the Camaro underneath here and not screwing the paint up on it with ATF. I'm gonna end this video here. Probably bored you guys enough, but thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any insights into the Super Turbine 300 transmission and anything else that I may or may not be able to do with this. One other thing, I saw a YouTube video the other day that talked about fuel pumps, mechanical fuel pumps, and about how they're just not manufactured very well these days, and they leak around all of the seams where they're crimped together. Let me know if you have any experience with that or what you've done to fix that. The guy in the video, he actually put JB Weld on all the seams to seal it up there. I don't know if that's what I should do, or if I should get a different fuel pump, or anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.